So, let's plunge in with the obvious answer. Had you seen Doctor Who before you were cast?
Yes, I watched Debbie, some of Debbie's. Obviously everybody knew about Doctor Who, so yes, I did watch it. And it made me even more nervous about coming in and taking over, as it does. Anything you take over from, you're taking from an actor, it's nerve-wracking. But yeah, I knew all about Doctor Who.
So, going back a little bit, how did you get into acting? What was it that attracted you?
Sorry.
A Kodak moment.
More by accident, because I always wanted to be a ballerina. So ballet was my passion, and I won a scholarship when I was about 11 to the Royal Ballet School. But they knew I already had slightly flat feet, so I never had that beautiful line that ballerinas have. But they thought with training, it was a 5-year scholarship, and at the end of every year you would be assessed, examined, and then you'd either be chucked out or you'd continue for another year. And I wasn't allowed to play any sport, I wasn't allowed to swim, because they tell us you develop muscles one side more than the other, so it was all a bit, it was pretty full on, but it was what I wanted to do. And then of course, even though with just ballet and having my knees whacked all the time, because I always looked so my knees were slightly bent, they realised that I was never actually going to have that beautiful line that ballerinas have, and so I was out of the first year. I was only 11, so it was a bit of a shock. I mean, it was, but at the same time, I never actually grew more than 5 foot. And to be in the corps de ballet, you had to be 5'3". So I would never have made even the corps de ballet at the Royal Ballet School. And I didn't want to be in the corps de ballet anyway, because I wanted to be a prima ballerina. And I'd even got my name, because every ballerina at that time that I read about had a Russian name, or a Russian sounding name. So I named myself Wendowski Padbarova. What I was going to be called, but it sadly didn't happen.
Yes, you sound like a James Bond villainess.
Yeah, it didn't happen, unfortunately. And then I just decided to do a little bit of acting on Saturday school, and that's how I decided, well, I quite like this as well. So, yeah. But ballet was my thing. Yeah.
And before, when you were like a Search for the Star TV show.
Yeah, but that was after I'd left school,
gone to
London, and got an agent, and yeah, that was when I was, Search for the Star.
Because you came second.
I did.
Julie Johnson won it.
Yeah.
And we never heard her. She got her own TV show, and you're the one that went on to success.
And it was also fixed, because they were convinced that I was going to win, and they wrote that show for me, and it was a sort of Alice in Wonderland show. And then it was the votes between the celebrity guests, one of whom was Stubby Kaye, and he shocked me by saying that he didn't think I had the best voice in the world, but I could put over a song. And anyway, I didn't win. The public voted me in second, and so Judy had to do that show. I felt for her. It was a shame.
So what was your first acting job then on TV?
The first thing I ever did on TV was a Sunday night program called Monitor.
Oh, yeah.
And because I've never... Oh! Wow.
No.
I have never seen...
How old were you? She still looks like she's 12.
I have never seen that photo.
No. Wow.
Where is it? Tell us about it.
What, this?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, this is...
You put your names on it.
There's Judy Johnson. That's Judy who won. And I don't know what we were doing. Because everybody seems to be in costume, apart from me.
How old were you?
I look about 4.
Looks like you're on the Brady Bunch.
Wow. I mean, where on earth did you find me?
You're almost like 3 years older than me. Amazing.
That's incredible.
You've never met your stalker before, have you?
It's incredible.
Um,
Yeah, the first job was a monitor. It was a Sunday night program, and okay, Johnny Dankworth, who was a jazz guy, and his wife Cleone used to release LPs all the time of their music, and they were doing one that was based on Dickens and Great Expectations, and I played Little Nell, and all I had to do, which was great because I'd never been in front of the camera before. So it was before this. I just had to walk up and down looking like an orphan Annie, basically. But I got to learn how cameras worked a bit, and you know how technically it was really quite a good learning experience. So that was my very first job.
But because it was very difficult in those days, wasn't it, with the camera work and everything? The cameras had to be first. Everything.
Well, even in our day, the cameras were a bit more, and they did move, obviously, but they were a bit more, those camera rehearsals that we did
Oh, yeah.
were quite full on.
Yeah.
We could do maybe 3 scenes, one almost as live.
Yeah,
And then we couldn't do the full scene because the cables, one cable,
yeah,
the camera couldn't jump over
Yeah.
another cable. But
Yeah.
you did many scenes.
yeah,
Inside the TARDIS, go into the space station, and back into the TARDIS, cut. You know?
yeah, with them we couldn't go any further. Yeah.
And
yeah,
I think
yeah,
we're
yeah.
lucky that because a lot of us have been stage trained, so we're only used to doing 20 pages of dialogue or whatever, you know, rather than just one scene and that's it.
Yeah.
It was quite nice though, wasn't it, doing it almost like a play.
Yeah, oh yes.
Our recordings, I thought so. I really like starting at the beginning, finishing at the
Well,
end.
you recorded in order, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
yeah.
That made it simpler because at least you could follow the plot.
Yes.
Well, exactly. I mean, now when I became an agent, I used to I had a client in the bill, and if I ever needed to speak to him, and I used to phone, they'd say he's on. We don't know whether he's on blue, yellow, green, or red unit. And when they eventually caught up with him, he'd been filming so many different episodes at the same time, and going from one unit to another that he didn't even know which episodes he was filming, what the story was. Sounds like a nightmare to me.
Yeah, because I mean, you as an actor, you have to prepare yourself, right? I mean, you have to understand what you're
Yeah,
supposed to be experiencing.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, I can imagine that should not be bad.
I mean, we had lovely rehearsals on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, producers were on Friday, studio set. Now, if you're doing a TARDIS, you learn it at home, you dash into the set, you do the lines, then write it, then into a take. There's no sort of camaraderie, telling gags and fooling around, really.
No,
It works straight away when you get in there.
I mean, our system allowed us to create the camaraderie because we got to know each other really well. I don't think people really meet that much anymore.
Well, no, because sometimes they don't even meet each other in the same show, even
And
when they're in the same
yeah,
scene.
Yeah,
And we were lucky that we had sets. Nowadays, it's all green screen. That's green, pretend that's a space station and there's a thing there with a computer there.
Is it all green screen?
Yeah.
Most of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That seems weird to me. I think I'm too old.
Well, I mean, a lot of actors feel that once they've got the costume and the sets, they can really understand the character and what's going on. And
Yeah.
without them,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you must be a bit,
It was a bit
a
weird.
bit loose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, back to getting cast on Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I mean, did your agent say, oh, they want you on the show, or they want you to audition?
Audition.
Mm-hmm.
I auditioned. One of the other girls that auditioned was Fraser's girlfriend at the time.
Oh.
Not that I knew that. And he wanted her to get the part. I mean, you know, come on.
Well, he was trying to get a part.
But it was quite daunting. It was a page of dialogue, and it was just a couple of lines, and each couple of lines was a different emotion. And you stood on a spot with a camera pointing at you. I think we did it at Line Grove or something, I can't remember where, or maybe in the television centre. And it was, the camera was just on your eyes. That's all you saw on the monitor were your eyes. And then you just had to learn it, obviously, and go through these couple of lines of each emotion. And it was, it was pretty tough. And thank goodness it was just your eyes, 'cause my knees were knocking. It was quite
But you
scary.
were on your own though. So, I mean, they
Completely
didn't
on your
have to
own.
be with Pat or
You
Fraser.
just had to look at the camera and do these lines. It was, it was pretty terrifying.
Yeah. So, were you actually cast before you met Pat and Fraser?
Yes. Yes, I was. And then I went to Debbie's last recording and sat in the gallery while she recorded her last episode, and then we had a little drinks thing, which you don't remember, but we did to say goodbye to Debbie and hello to me. So I met them before my first day's work.
Well, I imagine you knew Pat from TV back then.
Oh, he was one of my favourite actors.
Wasn't
Yeah, he was.
He was wonderful, wasn't he?
he? Yeah.
He was a wonderful actor.
I'm watching all these old TV shows, and when I'm on my Facebook, I'll go, here's another Pat, here's another Pat. And it's literally, I mean, he does 5 or 6 different episodes of shows in different characters.
Yeah. Oh, he was a wonderful character actor. Yeah. I remember him from being a little girl when he used to do the Sunday tea time classics. He was just wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
He played Quill in the old...
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Cool.
Good.
Yeah. So, intimidating, presumably, coming in, as you say, to a show that's 5 years old at that point, right? 6.
Well, I thought it was going to be intimidating, but Fraser and Pat made it not intimidating at all. In fact, they were really wonderful. So I didn't ever feel intimidated. I was just excited by them. Yeah.
That comes across actually. If you, I don't know if you watch these again, but you watch Zoe. She looks excited. She seems like she's having fun all the time.
Yeah.
Because,
Well, she's such a smart ass. Yeah.
but I mean, I gather Pat and Fraser tended to make the shows a little lighter with the banter and humour.
Oh yeah, we had to have fun. You know, we would fool around for a couple of days, and then as we got near to the studio, you had to get the fun out of the way. Otherwise, if you did it serious from day one, by the time you got to the studio, you'd be, this is ridiculous. Oh.
Well, it would be stale, wouldn't it?
Yes.
It would be really stale if you just, were there on day one.
Some directors, Michael Ferguson, he'd say, Thursday morning, we're doing producers on Thursday afternoon, he said, right, I want to make sure you know your lines, a speed run, no pauses, do as fast as you can. And I just do go, no pause, or remember, speed run.
I've forgotten that, yeah.
Or he said, right, Wendy, you're Welsh, Fraser, you're going to be playing Irish, and do all the dialogue, and Patrick, you'll do Pakistani, and you do the whole episode with different accents.
Yeah.
And it made sure you knew the lines.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
it's a shame they never filmed some of those.
Oh. Yeah.
But our producers' runs were a bit iffy, weren't they? With Peter Bryant and Derek Sherman, they were always plastered.
Yes.
So they were always quite interesting. Oh look.
Oh, that's the TV centre.
Yeah.
That's the Dominators.
Wow.
That's your costume, the Dominator.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I recognise that costume. Well, I don't because I've never seen it in colour before.
I've seen you in that costume though, John. I've seen you in that costume.
Oh yeah, once or twice.
How many color pictures are there of the era?
How many pictures?
How many color pictures
Colour
are there?
pictures? I don't know.
That's obviously somebody's camera.
Yeah.
You know, just.
That was in the green room, wasn't it? In that, just that little sort of area.
Yes,
that we used to
yes.
sit.
Well, okay, here we go. I have to ask about this.
There's a lot of them.
The cat
There
scene.
are.
The
Oh
cat
yeah.
scene. You only were in the one story, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But it's become identified with Zoe, really, hasn't it? Because of the one story, and I mean, it was just amazing.
Yeah, it was a good costume, but and
Yeah.
also the most comfortable costume. So it was the one people really liked, but it was the most practical and the most comfortable.
Well, you had a lot of action shots in that show because, I mean, with the TARDIS exploding, you were thrown around. So
Yes.
obviously they didn't want you to put you in a short skirt or
No.
anything. I mean, that would have
Although
appealed to
they
the
did
fathers.
put me in short skirts.
Yeah, but not for that one.
Not
Not
for this
throwing you
one.
around. But,
Oh,
yeah.
that's where the TARDIS fell apart and you were on the console.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
they had that. I mean, do you remember doing that at all? I mean, they must be throwing you around on the console.
I don't remember it being a problem, but I do remember being on the console. And did we film that at Lime Grove or somewhere? Or was that done in...
Ealing.
Oh, Ealing.
Yeah.
What did we do at Lime Grove then?
Oh, some of the stories were Lime Grove.
What did we do? Where did we... Oh, so was it Ealing when we were in our...
In filming, for filming.
Wow.
Ealing, where you'd be on the console, going round
Okay,
and
and also when we were in our spacesuits.
Yes, yeah.
That was Ealing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I must admit, that was one.
There we are.
There we go. Yeah. I mean, throwing you around.
You laughing there? Looks like you're laughing.
No, that's distress. That's
Oh.
called
If she's
distress.
screaming, I watched that episode this morning.
Oh, did you? Oh.
That was one of the weirdest stories, but also the most fun, wasn't it? I mean, the idea of ending the episode with the TARDIS exploding.
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
right,
you
yes,
know, it's
yes.
like, what have they done?
Yes.
That was Derek Sherwin writing something really, really quickly, I remember, because an episode fell through. You needed a filler.
There were so many more of those sorts of incidents that I didn't know about, that I've learned about during conventions with people like Fraser, because you remember more than me. But yeah, there were quite a few times where they had either put in an episode or knocked a few minutes off an episode.
Yeah.
You said yesterday they knocked a couple of minutes off
The Mind Robber.
the Mind Robber.
The first one. Because there's only 3 of us in it.
Yeah.
And we've just done a heavy shoot.
Looks like the console has a silver hoard ornament.
Yeah.
Oh.
But, yeah. But I remember that one very clearly. And as I say, the cat suit seemed to be completely identified with Zoe, even though she only wore it the once.
Yeah.
What do you remember your other costumes? I mean, what did you like about them? Were there any ones that stuck in your mind really well?
That was my very
Oh, that was
first
your first one.
That was Wheel in Space. That was quite practical as well. But some of them were totally impractical. The one we talked about earlier, which was the PVC paper, the skirt tore all the time. If I moved, climbed up a rock, over rocks or something, they just tore. But on the whole, they were pretty good and practical.
Yeah. Anyway, going back to your first story here. Zoe was this brilliant intellectual. Was there a problem with the?
And learning the lines.
Well, yeah, the lines. Yeah.
Learning the technical stuff.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, there's always a chance that she might come over as a bit of a, know-it-all and everything. That they made a bit of fun out of
I
it.
think she
I mean,
managed to be a bit of a know-it-all, didn't she? She was always frustrated with the doctor.
yes.
Because she did think that she was certainly
Marvelous.
superior to
Yes.
him, yeah.
Yeah.
Infuriated by him when he got things wrong. But yeah, no, it was a fun character to play. And she was quite a strong character
Very
for
positive
the
character.
time.
Yeah.
And especially coming after Debbie, who'd been a sort of Victorian.
Demure. Very.
Yeah.
Well, Debbie's character wouldn't argue with the doctor, whereas Zoe
Yeah.
stood up to him all the time.
Yeah.
It was completely the opposite, which was nice. I mean, there's the affection between them, but at the same time, there's that kind of little rub of them fighting.
Lost Masons.
Oh,
Yeah. I haven't seen these
Yeah.
photos before.
Yeah,
I've never
well,
seen
let's
that.
find some,
Yeah.
take some pictures here. Yeah.
Great.
So, it's hard for you to judge, I know, but were there any stories you liked doing more than others? Were there some that stick in your memory because they were just so much fun?
I think everything had a fun part to it,
Yeah.
actually. There are, I mean, I like Mind Robber, I think it's because it was so quirky and so different to anything else. So the stories themselves, when as a whole, were different, obviously. Some were better than others, but
That's always the
they
case.
were all
Yeah, it's just the Crotons I just didn't like. I thought they were just written too fast and we need a story quick, write something called the Crotons.
Yeah. But, I mean, there's a tremendous amount of work going into all this. You can see from the sets here and everything. They've really gone to town on a lot of this stuff. The one of your era that really people kind of look down at is Space Pirates.
And yes, I don't know why.
There's
Do
not
you
much
remember
left
that?
of that, is there? Does anything exist?
No,
No.
nothing much exists in that one, sadly.
I
One
listened to
episode.
it.
One
One
episode.
One
episode?
episode? Yeah.
You listen to it?
Yes,
did you?
on audio. I had a long car journey. I thought, I haven't heard this for, I don't know if it.
Ow! Where'd you get that from?
It's on a CD.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Oh,
Ah, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Gordon Goss, hello.
My old fancy.
Yeah.
oh yes.
He had the weirdest voice on TV.
Yes, he did. He did.
Looks like he
He's
stole
one of those
Capaldi's
character actors.
eyebrows.
Yeah.
You always knew him without even looking.
Yeah.
You could tell it because
He was a very good actor, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He did a lot of really good stuff
He
over
did.
the years.
And I think our little spaceships, well, there's
Yeah,
Dudley Simpson, not Dudley
yeah.
Simpson.
I love those tin helmets.
Yeah. That's a good helmet and a
They-
good costume again.
Yeah, they look like, you know, the kind of things the Japanese robots would wear in the 60s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wind-up robots. But yeah,
Yeah, but our little space fighting machines, I think George Lucas saw that story, and in Star Wars, they're very similar. His spaceships, you know, the fighters are very similar to ours. Looking at our
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
And it's, you know, even,
Are you going?
yes,
All right.
for the last half an hour.
Oh.
Oh, oh, look.
Are you on a merry-go-round?
Looks like trying not to use
It
space.
does look like it. It does
Oh,
look like
no.
it.
boy oh boy.
Oh yeah, that costume
That,
as well.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's,
that's
I mean, that's not
well, that's
decent,
really
really. Yeah.
I don't know, they're worried about putting her in a skirt for these action scenes, but there you are and you're killed.
Yeah.
They don't worry about it. But, okay, let's
I'm going to